Hi, Ron. How are you?
Very well. I'm happy to be here.
So can you tell us a little bit about Fuel for Truth and what they do?
Sure. Fuel for Truth is an all-volunteer, not-for-profit organization founded in the aftermath of 9/11 by young secular Jews here in New York City. Our main focus right now is to educate young professionals, both Jewish and non-Jewish, on the Arab-Israeli conflict. We want our members to have their own opinion, have that opinion be based on fact, and we want our members to be able to advocate and articulate that opinion with confidence in whatever environment they so choose.
So how do you teach students to sift through all the manipulation and biases that come about?
You have to start with the history of the conflict. When you start reading and understanding what happened in 1948 in the lead up to the partition plan, the UN partition plan, it's important to understand what happened back then, factually speaking, to understand what is real, what is not, what has been manipulated. So to really understand the truth and get to the bottom of the conflict, it's very important to start at the beginning.
So what would you say about all the skeptics that would say there is an anti-Semitism on college campuses?
Well, I would just point to, we could start with AE there have been anti-Semitic acts all over the country, from UC Davis to Emory, swastikas being drawn, pro-Israel students being physically and maybe emotionally intimidated for having pro-Israel views. This is a problem that has been simmering here in the country, and anyone following this, especially the pro-Israel movements on college campuses, this is a serious problem that is getting a whole lot worse.
So what exactly happened at UC Davis?
From what I understand, at UC Davis, there was a BDS resolution. The school was looking to divest from companies that have any affiliation or are doing business in the West Bank. The pro-Israel supporters came to the vote to vote their opinion. They were intimidated, screamed at. As they were leaving, members from the Students for Justice in Palestine started screaming and chanting Allah Akbar, and subsequently that night a swastika was drawn on AEPI at UC Davis.
So how are students who are victims of hate crimes able to move forward and continue with their studies? How do they deal with this anti-Semitism? How does it affect them? Are they supposed to just turn their cheek and move on and ignore it?
How it affects them on a case-by-case basis, I'm not sure I'm qualified to talk about that, but what I would tell these students is to not be intimidated. You can't be brave or have courage without being afraid. They shouldn't back down on their opinions and what they believe in and what they believe is right based on what some other student bodies may think or try and intimidate them into thinking. I hope that events like this would only make those students stronger and continue to pursue what they believe in and what they believe is right.
Are you worried for their safety on campus?
I am. There are reports that it's starting to get physical. This isn't Europe. From what we can see now, anti-Semitism in Europe was really just in remission. I don't believe that to be the case here in the United States, but it is not getting better, it's getting worse. And if it continues to escalate, I fear that violence will become more commonplace against pro-Israel and Jewish students on college campuses.
If you had a message for students who have been victimized on campus, what would that be? And for those who want to continue the hatred on college campuses?
Well, to the Jewish students, as I stated before, be strong. Have courage, be brave, and continue to stand up for what you believe in. For the students who are taking the opposite stand, there certainly are issues and inequities in the Palestinian situation. For someone who's been following the movement and attended some of their events on college campuses, even here at NYU, I can't connect their goals to the actions they take on campus. If we're going to try and help solve the Palestinian conflict, maybe a more balanced and peaceful approach could be far more effective.
Thank you so much, Ron. And back to you, Chris.